Welcome to Story Time with Sunshine Lutey. Hi, I'm Sunshine Lutey, and I have a story to tell you today. This is a true story. It happened to me when I was around 6 and 2 name changes ago. So the story tells what happened to Naomi, and that's who I was when I was 6 years old. The name of the story is A Bicycle Built for None. Lying on the ground, bleeding, her right nostril cut clear through, Naomi heard Waverly wailing from the front porch, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Although the sisters were 5 years apart, they were silent allies. They never talked about it, but a look between them could speak volumes. Life was not easy for the family. Jean, their mother, loved her husband and her children fiercely and ruled them with an iron fist, fighting hard to keep them in line. It wasn't easy to follow her edicts, so trouble brewed at every corner. Life wasn't easy for Jean either, because no one was able to meet her expectations. Jean had many talents and could have done so many things with her life, but she chose to direct a well-run household and the lives of her family. After a train trip to an evangelistic meeting, she decided that Walter, her husband, a factory worker with an 8th grade education, should become a minister. Walter was soft-spoken, with a great capacity for fun, and he was extremely gifted mechanically. He appreciated Jean's guidance and her caring, and worked so very hard to meet her expectations. Jean's voice was often strident. Her patience stretched thin as she chided and corrected Walter's English and manners. Scarcely a day went by when she didn't find fault with the children's behavior either. She forced the culprit to fetch the razor strap. Then she placed the child over her knee, raised the child's skirt, and unsparingly strapped the child's bottom. Then again, every night, after Walter made the girls giggle as he chased them up the stairs, she told them stories. She sang songs and hugged them close. Naomi adored Waverly and wanted to be just like her and do everything she did. At 3, she followed Waverly to school. Waverly brought her home with a severe warning. "Naomi, if Mother finds out, she'll use the razor strap and you'll be sad. When I get home, I'll play a special game with you." When Naomi tried to follow her sister again on another day, Waverly patiently brought her home. Their infractions went undiscovered. Jean assigned the girls tasks. At supper time, the girls set the table, and if done correctly, Jean allowed them to walk to meet Walter on his way home from work. It was a special time of day, and Naomi excitedly raced out the screen door, and it would have banged shut after her if Waverly hadn't caught it. "Naomi," she admonished, "we can't let the screen door slam or we'll get razor strapped and we won't get to meet Daddy." Naomi was quiet and sobered for the moment by the near disaster, but soon the girls were running hand in hand down the street. Walter, thrilled to see his girls, grinned from ear to ear. He grabbed Naomi up, handed Waverly his empty lunch pail, and held her hand as they walked home together, where a delicious meal waited. With her family towing the line, Jean successfully guided Walter to his first ministerial assignment at a small country church in northern Wisconsin. It had 3 tiny rooms in the back where the family lived, and they worked hard to survive. The family's income was insubstantial. The congregation was minuscule and poor, but Jean was talented. She was resourceful, an excellent cook. She stretched the food in a garden. She planted lettuce, beans, peas, corns, tomatoes, potatoes. With her pressure cooker, she canned jars of food, which Walter placed in a cellar that he built into the side of a hill. Jean made lovely matching dresses for the girls from flour sacks. Since there was no water, Walter hauled 10-gallon containers of water from a neighbor. After he drilled for water 3 times, he finally found fresh water, built a well, and magically designed running water in both the kitchen and in the garden via hand pumps. There were unending jobs, but Walter always found a way to make fun for his girls. In the winter, he created a sled run covered with ice, and for summertime play, he built 2 swings. Mother didn't approve of animals, but a stray cat chose the rafters of the garage to make a nest for the birth of her babies. After Waverly and Naomi solemnly promised secrecy, Walter helped them up the ladder and enjoyed their delight as they gently touched the tiny kittens. One day, Jean, screeching loudly, almost stepped on a mouse. Walter convinced her that they needed a mouser, so the cat stayed. Naomi was curious and watched the cat after she caught a mouse and asked, "Is it good, kitty?" Waverly, mature, at 10 years of age, earned money taking care of the neighbor's children across the road. An old, unused bike caught her attention, and the neighbor said she could buy it. Waverly was enthralled. Jean was not, and told Waverly in no uncertain terms that she absolutely could not buy the bike. Devastated, Waverly spent hours thinking about that bike. Children didn't beg, ever, and when Jean said no, that was it. That was the end. But somehow, Waverly, normally so docile and obedient, found the courage to ask and ask again. "I've earned the money, and I'll only ride in the yard." Uncharacteristically, Jean acceded. Thrilled, Waverly often rode the bike in the yard and around the garage, and Naomi ran joyously after her. A game they called "Meet You at the Corner" had disastrous results. As they approached the opposite corners, they collided. Waverly ran to Naomi and saw the blood. "Oh no, I'll get a cloth. Don't tell Mother." But when she returned, she discovered the enormity of the freak accident. She ran yelling, "Mother, come quick!" Overcome by guilt and remorse, and certain Naomi would be scarred forever, she screamed, I'm sorry, I'll never ride the bike again." During the 30-mile drive to the nearest town, she sobbed quietly in the back seat, softly mumbling the same words over and over again. The doctor complimented Naomi on her bravery as he closed the gap with 7 stitches. Luckily, there was no lasting disfigurement. The 2 sisters became 3 when Beth was born. The small home was crowded. Jean and Walter soon accepted a ministerial post that included the use of a large house. Just before the move, Waverly wandered into the garage where she saw the dusty bike standing against the wall. She began to clean it. She couldn't help the thought that came unbidden. Maybe I'll just take one little ride. Her ride was short. Without warning, Jean burst through the screen door, shouting, "Waverly, you promised never to ride the bike again." Shamed by her action, Waverly sadly wheeled the bike back into the garage. The bike disappeared during the move. Afterwards, Jean never allowed the girls to ride bikes or have bikes. However unfair it might seem, Tim, born 5 years later after Beth, had a bike. The girls meet yearly, at least, and reminisce about the early years. They laugh often and know that their parents, now gone, loved them and did the best they could with the knowledge they had.